we'd like to thank club grants made possible by the Blacktown Workers Club in order to help reach out to community members. Blacktown Workers Club, show sponsor. 14 minutes past 12, we are listening to the community show on SWAT 999. Now, this is Mitchell, and we are with Susie, Danielle, and Elise, and we're going to start with Susie and Danielle. Ladies, how long have you been doing the massive Murray paddle?
Well, a friend of mine, Katrina, and myself we did the Outback Marathon in 2016, and atop Kings Canyon, Katrina, who is our adventure queen of our group, asked me if I'd like to do the massive Murray paddle with her, and that was 3 years ago. We did our first one in 2017, so that's how we got started. We started initially with a small group of paddlers, and Susie was in our initial group, but yeah, that's how it all got started.
Wow, that's a long river, 2,500 kilometers. How much of that are you actually paddling?
We paddle 404 kilometres of that. It starts at Yarrawonga and finishes up in Swan Hill, and it's covered over 5 days.
That's a lot of work. Now, we were talking about the super athletes that you are.
Yeah, well, we all have a fairly generally good level of fitness. However, Susie does bring her superpower and our backup.
Yeah, well, I am probably the most elitist out of all of us. I do no training, have too many drinks, and then probably start smoking. But I also throw in that, integral part is Monte Carlos. We eat them continuously for 5 days down 404 kilometres.
Just like my... I got to tell Ryan on air to bring me some Krispy Kreme.
Yeah, too many calories in that. Monte Carlo, the slimming diet.
Now, we spoke earlier about how many days the paddle will take. That's 5 days. Why do you do the massive Murray paddle, you maniacs?
Well, we have to align ourselves with a charity it's part of the conditions of entry to the race. Mm-hmm. And it was a no-brainer for us when we decided that we'd do the marathon, that we would be supporting the Blue Datto Foundation. Susie and I we've been friends for about 20 years, and also we're neighbours. So when Susie lost her son Joel, it really affected us all very deeply, and anything that we could do to give back to our local community who had suffered a few devastating losses within a 12-month period. And the Blue Datto Foundation is a local charity to the Hawkesbury and Nepean areas, so it was just a no-brainer that we'd support those guys.
All right, I was going to say when we come back, but we're not going anywhere, ladies and gents. We're just going to have a quick song break, and then when we come, I'm going to say it again, after the song we will ask Elise Mitchell of the Blue Datto Foundation what the Blue Datto is about. Now, the song that we have coming up next is Circles by Post Malone. Here we go.
Local shows to serve our community and playing the 70s till now. SWAT 999.
This is Mitchell on the Community Show on SWAT 999, and welcome again to the program, Elise. Now, SWAT 999, this is Western Sydney's local radio station. We are here to pass on information about local charities. And what is the Blue Datto Foundation?
Yeah, so the Blue Datto Foundation is a non-for-profit organisation. We go into high schools, and our target audience is about year 10, and we promote road safety. We're not there to teach how to drive. We're there to raise awareness, get conversations started, and challenge attitudes and values towards being safe in driving situations.
I was going to say what is the end of the Blue Foundation.
Sort of just did it.
Just did it. Now, the Datto to me is a car. It's a Datsun.
Yep.
My younger brother used to drive one years ago, and yes, he has crashed it at one stage. Now, I know that this foundation was started after tragic circumstances. Now, what year and what was the circumstances or the reason behind starting the Blue Datto Foundation?
Yeah, so unfortunately in 2014, there's a boy from my high school, Philip Vassallo. He tragically died in a car crash. He was out with a bunch of mates, and unfortunately that's the circumstance that did happen, and Phil passed away that night. And so from something so tragic, the Vassallo family decided that next year, so in 2015, they wanted to start up the Blue Datto Foundation, and that's what we've done ever since then. So I suppose, although it's something that, you know, you never want to wish that happens, something so positive has come out of it. And one shout out obviously is to the Vassallo family, but the other is for Phil. Today would have actually been his birthday, so happy birthday to Phil. And I just want to quickly talk, like, he's just one of the best people that, you know, happiest kid, and one of the nicest people. Just everyone sort of loved him. He was just that nature. So yeah.
Now this, what I'm going to say next, is very graphic to the listeners, and I think it's appropriate because there is a tragic part to it and there is a graphic part of it. A few years back, I was living in Bombala in the Southern Tablelands. One of my younger friends, he was about 16 or 17 at the time, night drive, massive eucalypt tree. This is the graphic part. I went to the site and his brains were literally in the back seat of the car. This is a very serious thing for me, and thank you for having the Blue Datto Foundation. Now, Elise, what's your role with the Blue Datto Foundation?
Yeah, I'm a peer mentor and a peer facilitator. So part of my job when I first started was to go into high schools and take a small group of students, and we run through games and activities and scenarios and challenge those attitudes that teens have about road safety. My other role is the facilitator, so I go into the high school and I run the day. So I talk about Phil, and we share his crash, and we show photos of the car and what happened and how real it all is. And the other part of my job is I train the peer mentors that come in to Blue Datto. So anyone that is interested in joining, that's where I come in as well. And I work with Phil's sister, Lauren, and Ronnie Howard, and we train up some mentors so that they can join and help out and volunteer and work with Blue Datto.
Okay, now you mentioned photos. Now for me, I'm old school and coming into the new school. I'm talking about photos and all that. Now, I guess it would be, I'm only guessing, it would be a challenge. I guess it's going to be part of your training as a peer mentor. People become complacent now in this age where video games and photos and social media, if you're showing them a photo of what's actually a result of that accident, does it have an impact on them?
I definitely think so. You can show as many, New South Wales ads and things like that that promote safe driving and things like that. But when you've got people, and that's why we pick peer mentors who are mainly university students, so that we're younger, we're closer to the age gap of the students that we're actually trying to talk to. It hits home because, like you said, it's real, and it has that impact that, everyone has this attitude of it's not going to happen to me. But it does, and that's what we're trying to just get across. And if we can get at least one kid from each school to leave saying, you know what, I will speak up when I feel unsafe, or I will say slow down, or whatever it is, that's our aim, that's what we want. So definitely has an impact that we have a personal story to share. And sometimes we actually get the police officer that worked on Phil's case that night, and he comes out and speaks to the students, and that itself is just so powerful.
Oh, very good. Now, how does one become a peer mentor for the Blue Datto?
Yep, so if you or anyone interested just jumps online to our website, which is bluedatto.org.au, there's a staff part and there's a work for us, and so there's just a little expression of interest type of thing that you fill in. Normally it'd be Colleen or one of the office ladies would contact them, and then they come to a 2-day training, which I have done for the last few sessions, and we just pretty much run them through what they'll be doing and how to be a mentor, and then they're good to go.
Very good. Now, what are the personal benefits that a peer mentor might gain?
Yeah, this is huge for me. I'm a primary school teacher outside of what I do for Blue Datto, and I think working in Blue Datto has just made me even better in my profession. And so it's not only just the ability to talk about road safety, but it's your confidence, and I take things out of it. I'm a better driver. I'm more aware. I'm more confident now as a passenger in a car, and so it really, if you're into helping people, that's one of the biggest things for it.
Very good. I guess it helps you to become, if you're not already one, it makes you a more compassionate person.
Absolutely.
We're just going to have a song break. Now, after the break, we will have another chat with Susie and Danielle. Meanwhile, let's have a listen to Push by Matchbox 20.
SWA 999 Sydney's West.
Time now is 28 minutes to 1 now. Hello again, Susie and Danielle. Now, have you got any shout-outs?
Yeah, we do. Thanks, Mitchell. Our first one, obviously, because we're here representing our team, which is, the Murray Marathon Maniacs, an incredible bunch of friends and family that all have this one connection. And so we're just here representing them as a whole, our family and friends who are just our amazing support team. You can't do this sort of thing without all that. The shout-outs also to our 5 angels, which we'll mention later. We've also mentioned Phil Vassallo, Ellie Wattups, Jessie Eggleton, Kerry Govia, and my son Joel Murphy.
Yeah, very good. Now, at one point or another, you've already mentioned, we all eventually have a friend or family who become injured or part of the grim road statistics, and you have mentioned a personal connection with the Blue Datto Foundation. Now, my work colleague Ryan, he works for another company, but we are from the same industry, has a personal reason for supporting the Blue Datto. Now, his family member, I believe his sister, Kerry Govia, sadly also became just a memory. And you've also mentioned the other young people, young angels whose memory we can honor. So I'd just like to repeat that. It's Philip Vassallo, Joel Murphy, Ellie Wattups, and Jessica Eggleton, and there's many more that, well, at least these are the base ones. These are the reasons. How long have you been fundraising?
We've been fundraising for the last 3 years. And I'll just hand over to Susie, and she can talk about her personal connection and why it's such a passion of ours.
When Danielle first came to me to say she was going to do this, I wasn't on board. I couldn't even see the sun, let alone think of paddling 404 kilometres. And then she sort of said, we want to align ourselves with Blue Datto because of Joel, and that our target for the first year is going to be $24,000, because that 240 is a significant number to us. It was Joel's motorbike racing number. So the first year, that was our aim. We outdid that by raising something like
36,000 our first year, and then in 2018 we didn't get quite as much, but it was still 26,000. But this year has been probably our it definitely is our biggest achievement yet, and every year we've had the 24,000 goal, and we pretty much reached that goal fairly early. So Katrina had a brilliant idea to swap the numbers and turn it into 42,000, and she is a big picture thinker, and when we were nearing the 42, she decided, let's go for the 50. So on our golf day, she announced that we had raised profit. This is after we paid all of our bills, $51,500, and our fundraising hasn't quite finished yet. It'll finish at the end of the paddle for us, but so in total, the last 3 years, our group's raised $111,500 for the Blue Datto Foundation.
Very good, very good. I just want to raise to everyone's awareness that the Blue Datto is a non-profit. So when you heard the word profit, it's not actually profit. That's just after you've covered all the costs and all the bills. Now, I know you're all very committed to saving young lives, raising money to help educating young drivers, and you've also mentioned how much you've raised so far. Now, other than paddling, how can other people help with this course?
Well, I'll pass on to Elise about the upcoming Blue Datto Gala Ball, and then I'll mention our Facebook, how we can still help us raise money for the paddle.
Yep.
Because we do like to win, because that just gives us a prominent, another way of promoting our cause, being the winner. And, don't doubt we're very competitive people, so we love to win.
So yeah, this Saturday we have our Blue Datto Gala dinner, the 19th. Yep. Of October, and so we definitely still have tickets, so we'd like to get some more of those sold, so that's one way that you can support Blue Datto. Otherwise, I'll talk a bit later about fundraising and stuff like that we have on offer, but yeah, the biggest thing for us at the moment, if anyone was interested, to jump onto our website. Tickets are for sale. I think they're $130 per person, and we've still got a few to go, so love to have that as a sold out event.
Let's mention that website now.
Yeah, so that's bluedatto.org.au.
Now, the Murray River Maniacs, do you have your own website that people can go to?
Yep, we have our Facebook page, which is the Murray Marathon Maniacs, Team Blue Datto. That has the link for our Chuffed campaign, which is Kayaking for Keeping Safe 2019. So that remains open. We actually are able to fundraise right until the last minute of paddling. It stays open.
Well, I would say that it's never closed. We will take the nation year round. Now, after this song, we will again speak with Elise and find out what support services the Blue Datto Foundation can provide. Let's have a listen to I Can See for Miles by who? We'd like to thank club grants made possible by the Blacktown Workers Club in order to help reach out to community members. Blacktown Workers Club, show sponsor. 18 minutes to 1, this is Mitchell. This is the community show, and with the Murray River Maniacs and the Elise from the Blue Datto Foundation.
Oh, okay, so I'm just going to bring it, back to real, to what drove us to become this team, and what drives us forward and why we are so passionate about, saving kids' lives. We all live in a very small area, so we actually, most of us knew each other or were long-time friends before this actually happened to us. Most of these families of these 5 angels were connected before it happened. So that's just showing you statistically, if you ever think it's not going to happen to you, it's just a sad fact that it may. We never can be complacent. Whilst we have the Blue Datto out there, we also, heavily rely on family and friends to work with these kids when they get their licence. I might just explain how we come together. Whilst we are family members that are paddling, we also have brought into our team and support them greatly those that were actually driving the car that, through these tragic circumstances, killed someone that they know and love. And whilst the support goes out to the families, these people are, sometimes left behind, and that's something that we are not going to do. We embrace them, we will support them, we will have them with us for the rest of our lives. And if I could just share with you just the connection that, the three of us have, as I said, Dan said we were friends for 20 years. Our kids were the same. Jordan and Joel were the same age together, and then Elise came into my family through Dylan, the boy that was driving the car that my son Joel was killed in. Elise happens to be his girlfriend as well, so she's dedicated her life for the cause, and we work closely together. Sadly I lost Joel, but I sort of gained an extra family, and I'll have them for the rest of my life. Both Elise's and my brother also were the drivers of cars that killed someone when they were young. My brother was 18. I think Elise's brother was similar, 17. So statistically, sadly we blow that out of the water. So you can see we just don't paddle with our head or for the fun of it, or we don't raise this money because it's damn hard in this, day and age to raise money for a cause. We do it through the passion and the driving force, Danielle and Katrina, I could not have, basically got off my butt 4 years ago. And I thank them from the bottom of my heart that they have got me through and define, my passion again. So, get with us, everyone, because, we're not just fighting for our kids. Sadly, I've lost mine, but, we are damn well out there fighting for your kids. So,
yes, as a parent or as a brother or as a sister, should always look out.
Yes, and, stick together.
We also have something very special with our paddling team this year. We have a family member from each of our 5 Angels families paddling with us. So it's extra special year, a year to honour and remember our lost loved ones. And on the last day of the paddle, we've got each of those family members paddling the last leg, and we'll come over the finish line together. And it's a very emotional moment, and it's the basically the grand finale of a lot of work, a lot of time and effort and love that's gone into getting as much money together as we can for the Blue Datto Foundation.
Now, did we touch on statistics? Touch a little bit on statistics.
Yeah, so I suppose that's where the Blue Datto come in, and something that is, I think I mentioned before, we don't teach how to drive a car. That's not what we go into high schools to do. We go to challenge attitudes, values, opinions, and similar to what Susie said before, so many of us, particularly young people that are learning to drive or starting to drive, have this opinion that it's just not going to happen to them. And unfortunately, that's just not the attitude that we can have anymore. And so Blue Datto doesn't just do the Keeping Safe program, which is the one where we go into the high school. We also have a Road to Wellbeing program, which is where we support the people that are left here that do have to go through that grief and that guilt of crashes, and that is almost just as hard to watch and to be there for and to support. And so major respect towards families like the Murphy family and the Vassallo family, who they've gone through something and yet they're still out there working to help other families get through it and to support people that it could have gone one of two ways. So a lot of respect for the families like that. We also have a parent program, like you said just a second ago, about coming from that parent point of view, where we help parents talk about how to get through those first very few driving lessons, because they can be pretty challenging. And Blue Datto also do community education, where we'll go to smaller community groups, for example, Youth Off the Streets, for students that will not get the chance otherwise to get this knowledge and this education. So although there's a lot of statistics, we're trying our best to get to as many different platforms and as many different groups. I know this year, by the end of the year, we would have taught a total of 5,000 students and a roughly 40 to 50 schools and community groups. So we're definitely trying our best to just get out there and change as many lives as we can.
Yeah, so driving really is not just about learning the road rules. It's awareness.
Yeah.
But like you said, Blue Datto is not there to teach people how to drive, but just being aware not only of the road rules, I guess, but impact.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Our biggest thing is being a passenger and being able to speak up. So I know that when I was younger, I would be in a car which was pretty unsafe and I felt sick in the back, but I just wouldn't speak up. So before we leave a school, before we finish a program, we say to the students, do you have one thing that you would say or that you could do the next time you're in an unsafe situation? And that's our goal, just getting them to speak up.
Yes, I'm unsure if this is a road rule now or a law, that the front passenger is also responsible for the speed now of that person. But I would take that position if I know that my driver is going over the limit or acting a little bit just unsafe. The person next to him should say something, I think.
They should, but put yourself back in when our kids and teens and peer pressure and all those kind of things, being able to speak up is pretty intimidating sometimes. And if you're in a group of 4 and 3 of them are egging the driver on to speed or do something dangerous, you being that person to speak up, that's really challenging. But that's what we do. That's our goal. We want to challenge those attitudes and we want to push kids to have the confidence to speak up and just keep themselves safe and their mates safe.
One of the mums I work with, what she does now, her kids are also driving now, and she's already told her daughters, if you hop in the car, put your phone away.
Yeah.
Put it in the glove box or wherever. Do not have access to it.
Yep.
Even if it rings, resist the temptation. And she's gone to a point where she told me herself that they were driving and the daughter reached for the phone and she said, stop the car. I'm getting out. I said, Mom, I'm sorry, Mom. I said, no, it doesn't work that way. Stop the car.
Yeah.
I am getting out of this car. So it's that kind, not just mums, but even, like I said, the passengers
Yep.
and all that. It's peer pressure.
That's right.
Peer pressure.
That's
so
huge.
You got to do something. You got to protect yourself.
That's exactly right, and it's in Phil's case and even in Joel's case, being around a group of friends, if that's what we want, and a lot of the time as young people, you do go out in groups of mates. It's just what you do. But if you don't have that confidence to speak up, then how are you going to keep yourself or others safe? Something that we make sure that we do in each program is they complete a personal pledge and a plan, and students write out what they pledge. I pledge that when I'm driving I will speak up or whatever, and we email that out every year on their student's birthday until they're 21, and just as a reminder, that's what we do. So yeah.
One of the things that I'd like to bring to people's attention as well, that no matter how much safety features your car does have, it means nothing. You gotta remember that road tests will say that the airbag will deploy it. You gotta remember those tests are at 35 to 40 kilometers per hour.
Yeah.
When you've got, it's physics. A lot of young people, even the adults, don't have an idea of impact.
What we find too, we come from a country area, so we don't have the lighting, the edging, the lines. We don't have anything like that. So it's not just about teaching driving. You've got to take all these under consider. If you lose, you just go off the road in the country and hit the edging, you'll lose control of the car. An expert can do that, and then most of the time you will hit a tree.
Yes, that's right. And like I said earlier on in the show, that I used to live in Bombala.
Yes.
That's a country area, and I got taught by the locals how to drive in that kind of condition.
Yeah.
So it's not just about road rules.
No way.
No. That's what the police say. Drive to the conditions.
Drive to the conditions, whether it be dry or wet, but you've also got to think about what your physical condition is.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Drive time to,
Intoxication.
also, with these 120 hours that our L-platers have to do, we always say, I fudged the numbers. It's so easy, it's not checkable. Just think as a parent, the more experience you can give these kids, the better they're going to be on their own. So, we can always rely on other people, but bring it back to the parents that, it's your job as well to save your own kids' lives.
Yes, a total outlook. It's not just getting them out of the house and getting them independent. It's the whole, you got to set them up for life.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Susie, Danielle, and Elise for telling us about the Blue Datto Foundation and the Maniacs. Now, and also, again, thank you for doing the Murray paddle to raise funds. Now, when you come back after the paddle, it would be great if you could come back and update us.
Yeah, we'd love to.
Yeah, well, we'll do that. Now, bye for now. Now, it's 12:53. We are going into the last song now for now. This is I Got a Feeling by Black Eyed Peas, and I think incidentally, we've all got that feeling. We gotta go. No, we don't have to go. We can keep on going.
I could always sing you, Mitchell. I'm good at that.
That'd be great.
All right, but I got a feeling though, people out there, remember driving. You gotta have the feeling. Hooroo!
We'd like to thank club grants made possible by the Blacktown Workers Club in order to help reach out to community members. Blacktown Workers Club, show sponsor.
If you've missed anything from the latest news or the last few songs we've played, swa999.com.au has you covered.
SWA 999 Sydney's West. Sydney's West.
Western Sydney.